welcome to NSRA News and to the 35th Annual Street Rod Nationals. I'm Dave Voloshin along with Mark Thompson, and we'd like to welcome you to what might have been the best Street Rod Nationals ever.
Dave, there is no doubt about it. With perfect weather and a big turnout, it has to rank with the best Nationals ever. There are more cars, more people, more of everything that makes the Nationals the largest automotive participant event in the world.
Yeah, we know you're not here to see us, so let's get right to the action.
Right to it.
Good morning. Welcome to the Street Rod Nationals.
Yeah, these two guys are near the front every year after holding their annual all-night-in-line party.
Morning, gang. How we doing? Welcome back.
Number one right here. Where's number one? I'm number 4.
Oh, man. I'm number 11.
Number 5.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the 35th. It's outstanding.
Hi.
Hello.
Make sure you fix it to your window.
Oh, yes.
Good morning.
Chevy Ford, but we can still be buddies, even though he drives a Chevy and I drive a Ford.
Number 7.
Number 11.
Starting a fun weekend.
Number 11 and number 12.
One of the member perks at the Nationals registration is a great package of materials for the registered members.
Do you need any children's hats?
Once again, we're here with the NSRA National Field Director, Jake Moran. Jake, this had to have been the best weather we've ever had.
Yes, it was. Matter of fact, I've attended all 35 of them, and I never remember that it didn't do something, at least during the night. But man, we didn't have nothing from Wednesday night till I left the fairground, till I left Monday morning. Man, it was great. I mean, temperatures couldn't have been any better.
Lower to mid-80s.
Yes, right, 60s in the night. Gosh,
Beautiful.
boy, it was good.
And the sunshine makes those paint jobs look fantastic.
Really looked good. Really looked good.
Now, we also had a little bit of construction going on this year. Talk to me a little bit about what they're doing on the grounds there.
Well, they've added a 100,000 square foot more building, and of course they got construction all the way around, and it took up a little bit of room, but it didn't seem to bother anybody. We had changed the traffic patterns just slightly, but everybody seemed it didn't bother them, so it seemed to all work, and I think it's going to be great, even with the new building. Probably take us a couple of years to fill it up, though.
This guy's looking for a street rod wife. I know he was looking for a street rod wife. He had a sign on his back that street rod wife wanted.
That's my favorite shot. A hand in the
Well, once again, if you get up here where the front gate is, you're going to have an opportunity to really see some nice looking rods come through the gate.
Well, yes, this is probably the only place you'll be able to see all the cars at the event, because everything is so fluid here. People drive in and drive out, and they might drive in and out, see them for the whole cotton picking day. And if you're walking around the ground, you might miss them. So this is the best opportunity to definitely see all the cars. But you're still not going to see all of them. You're just going to get most of them.
Yeah. Back to that construction a little bit. Now that'll be finished by 2005.
No, it will not be. Actually, the completion date is October 2005. It'll be after the 2005 Street Rod Nats, but most of it will be internal, and so we'll get a little bit more room back, I think, for next year, hopefully.
But you're right. It seemed to me that the traffic flowed pretty well.
Traffic flowed great. We picked up a couple of lots over there. We moved the safety a little bit, and we used 2 of the lots right in the back of the bowling alley over there. And everything just seemed to flow well, and I didn't see any problems. Once we got the signs up and got everybody going the right way, it worked out well.
That's a great T-shirt.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, you just about can't think of 2 or 3 things that made it much better, can you?
Nope. Cars, women, beer.
Yeah.
Those are all 3 on the top 5 list.
Yes, they are. But you know, everybody went to the guy just showing it in the registration. Registration goes so much better now with the Papa John's Center now than it ever has in the past. I mean, it's easy in, easy out. Most people in there only about 5 minutes. I mean, they done park and went in there and got their credentials and back out and tickle to death.
Great facility.
Great facility.
Lots of room, plenty of parking. Like you said, easy to get in and out of.
Take it low. Take it low.
And lots of kids at the show. Like,
we're here talking street rods with Joel Frary. I'm from Crystal, Minnesota, and I'm driving a 41 Ford convertible. It's called One Piece at a Time. It's got 13 cars for donor sheet metal in it.
And you said that this started out as just a pile of parts.
Yeah, it was literally a pile of rusty parts laying on the floor when I bought it. The license plate tells a story on it, tells it that it's a 141, 6, 7, and 8. Because it has sheet metal from all those cars. And it drives nice, runs nice. We just repainted it, so it's basically a different car.
We're here with
Chuck Shepler and my wife Ann. We're from Plano, Texas.
All right, tell me what we're driving here, Chuck.
Well, we've got our 34 Ford 3-window coupe here, and it's a car that my son and I built when he was in high school. He started showing an interest in cars, and so we decided we were going to build a street rod, and we came to one of these events and started looking at the kinds of cars they had and what it is we wanted to go build, and settled on this little coupe. Found that to be the most exciting thing for us. Spent about 2 years building it. We both learned a tremendous amount, especially patience. Things never worked the first time, and it really was fun, and really enjoyed the experience.
It's all about the street rods.
That's what you come to this event for, is to look at street rods and meet the people and see what's going on, see folks you hadn't seen for another year or so, and just have a good time, get laid back. This is what it's all about.
Well, it is always good to see your old buddies.
That's exactly right. Can't remember everybody's name, but you can remember the car. Guys, I mean, I tell you, look, a lot of these guys have changed lives, but still got the same car. Nice looking Pontiac here.
Beautiful. This fellow just before was talking about building a street rod with his son, and what a great story. Looking for something for a father and son to do, and they built that little red street rod together.
That's an ideal situation where you get close to your family, and your son learns ideas about how to do things, and the responsibility of what it takes to organize and get something done. Yeah.
Like you said there, it doesn't always work the first time you try it, but you figure out a way to make it work.
Well, yes, every time I build one, there's usually one over in the corner I done throw it away that didn't fit. Actually, most of them, all they are is just a bunch of little brackets. You got a bracket to put the motor in, a bracket to mount the steering, and just a bunch of little bitty brackets, but you got to get them all welded on and lined up in the right place.
Lined up in the right place, and sometimes they just need a little adjustment as you go.
Exactly. Good looking little 34 right there. This is a big old, I don't know what that is. But then, you know, this year being having as many cars as we had, of course, we had 11,524 registered vehicles, which is more than we had in 2003. There was a lot of cars out there. I mean, just a lot of vehicles. And but we never ran out of parking place. Still had plenty of room to park. Even if you got there real late, you could still find a place. Maybe not the prime place you wanted, but you could still find a good parking spot.
Yeah, there was still parking out near the safety tent.
Exactly.
You needed to park over there or out in the field.
Out in the grass, and also around the back. There was a lot of room around the back. We didn't, you know, once we got through with the street of rods and the Rods and Custom Show and the 29 below, we had plenty of room around back as well.
That little fellow we just passed and waved at has been to every show since he was about 3 years old. I think he's 12 now.
He's had a lot of fun. No doubt about that.
I think he still enjoys it every year.
And you still see a lot of cars. I mean, many of them are finished, but they say they're finished. I don't think you ever get through with one. But boy, you still see a lot of cars that's under construction. It still needs a paint job, upholstery, and you know these guys put in many hours just to get to this event. I mean, this was I tell you what, a street rider going to the Street Rod Nats is like a Harley Davidson rider going to Sturgis. You got to go one time in your life at least.
You got to go.
And the more you go, the more fun it is.
Whatever it takes to get there.
And the motors do sound good.
Boy, don't they?
Yes, they do. And I didn't see anybody overheating this year either.
I didn't either.
I guess
with
the temperatures down, nobody seems to have a heating problem. Nice little paint job right there. I'm not sure what it was.
That's beautiful.
That's Pontiac there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the paint just seems to get better year after year after year. Of course, DuPont and PPG are really involved with the street rodders. I think they figured out how to get everybody to paint these things, and there are other folks involved as well, House of Colors and 2 or 3 others. But they really put a lot into it, and people learn how to use their paints.
Well, they sure have. Those paint jobs are just beautiful.
That's a Rolls Royce or a Bentley right there.
There really is a lot to do and see at the Nationals. One reason we've expanded the show to 2 full hours of all the things we love about these Nationals.
Dave, you really don't understand the size and scope of the Nats unless you're there. But over the next couple of hours, we'll sure try.
Well, we've heard about the perfect weather. Let's take a look at some of that fun in the sun.
Everybody's here to have a good time. Right. Get out of here.
All right, we're here with Dave Shank. Dave's got a little interesting airbag on his car. Dave, tell us about your vehicle.
It's a 1938 Lafayette, and it's the only one here at this show where there's 13,000 cars. I've had it all over the United States at a lot of the National Street Rod events, and I've always looked for another one, and I've found other Lafayettes, but never a two-door sedan like this. So I feel like I have the only one in captivity, which really makes me feel good. And this car is unique in the fact that it has a 1938 airbag, and it is the only airbag I've ever found at a National Street Rod event.
And you were telling us about the
flames
on the hood.
Made with ground glass, and they've shot the whole front end of the car. As you can see, it sparkle in the bright sunlight. But then they didn't start adding color until they got farther back into the flames. And so on a bright day today where the sun is very bright, they sparkle a lot, but at night they're totally invisible. So they are really the ghost flames. It's great, and I enjoy being out here.
Okay, we're here with AJ Gagne. AJ, tell me what we got here.
Oh, we got a 37 coast-to-coast car that I built. I did it in 11 months. I've got all kinds of trick little things on it. The glove compartment opens remotely. The trunk opens remotely. It's got a 502 Chevy big block with 2 4-barrels, 400 tranny, 9-inch Ford rear end. I got a rear view camera so I can see when I'm backing up because the back end's a little bit high. 1,000-watt stereo system in it with a DVD player and satellite radio. Just kept adding and adding and adding.
So you're booming down the road.
Oh yeah.
With a big engine.
Yeah, gas mileage not that great though, now that the gas has got up as high as it is.
So if you had one thing to say about the Nationals, what would you say?
Large. A lot of cars.
A
lot of nice people.
I think it was a couple of good-looking vehicles we just talked about.
Yes, sir, it was. I like that blue 37. It was really looked nice. That guy had, like I say, had all the goodies on there and all the bells and whistles, and it really looked nice. I mean, I guarantee he spent some work and time and effort getting all that thing together. And he was driving it too, and that's what makes it neat.
Yeah. And we got a big kick out of the little custom airbag.
Yeah, the airbag was neat. I don't know how it would be. I guess you had to get on the bumper to get it just before the crash.
Just before the crash, put it over your head and duck.
Yeah. And then if it was a bad wreck, you had to have 2 bags.
Now here we use a little fisheye lens on some of these, which I thought
makes the cars look a little bit different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Big in the middle and a little on the sides. Hey man, this Plymouth is down on the ground. You know, well, this is the coupe. Well, I guess this one never was a taxi cab. Most of them 47, 67 Plymouths are all taxi cabs, I think.
At one time or another.
One time or other, exactly. Seems like you guys did spend a lot of time at the front gate there shooting all the vehicles coming in, though.
Oh, that's one of our favorite places to go.
Like I say, that's where you get to see them all.
Street is neat. We love the Nationals.
We like to spend a lot of time out in the fields and in the lots, but you really can see those cars in motion at that front gate.
At the front gate, yes, I can understand that. Where they just sitting idle back there in the back. 40 Mercury converter, 39 4-door Mercury. That was a rare piece there. They probably didn't make but less than 300 of them. Really a rare car, really a rare car. But there's a lot of rare cars at this event, and it's amazing how some of them come up out of the woods, and actually we slaved them before the antiquers got to them.
Yeah.
Made something you can drive. Willis sedan delivery, that had to be they didn't have a little 4-cylinder motor in originally, and I bet you you couldn't have put 1,000 pounds in the back of that thing and pulled it. It wouldn't have pulled itself. Good looking Cadillac there though. I like that little 41 coupe, 40 coupe. Nice looking piece there too. Big tire. Oh, I like the way the guy rolled the belly pan on the back of that thing at the rear end. See the shadows there. Yep. Doing the shooting.
Cameraman's working hard.
Man, cameraman is working hard, definitely.
Working for that shot.
Yeah, he definitely was working for it. nice truck right there too. I'd like to have one of them trucks.
How you doing?
There's one thing that you don't want to do. You do not want to miss the Street Rod Nationals.
The Nationals are the best!
Yeah, you talk about that shot from the top of Freedom Hall. We get up there, here we go. We get up there. Whoa! I'm up there every year, and you really can get a good idea at just how big that event is.
There's always a big crowd at the front gate waiting to get in the morning. And always a line of street riders waiting to get in early. Very early.
Yeah, Dave, once again, it's early in the morning, and you got to get up really early to beat these guys in the gate. We got here at 5 till 5, and they were heading in.
Yeah, Jake, we got there about 5 minutes till 5, and they had just opened the gates that morning.
Well, I think they make them open the gate if the line gets too long back there on the road there. If they start to back up on the expressway, you got to open that gate and let them folks in.
Right, you get a little backed up, so it's time to open the gates and let them go.
But once you get them started in there, it's not a big deal because they all go unload. It goes in pretty quick, so there's really not a crowd to get in there anymore.
No. And again, the weather was perfect. Beautiful all week long. So we're going to back up at the front gate. This would be Saturday morning, and we like to spend a lot of time up there on Saturday morning because we do just get a lot of cars. They keep coming like this for 2 or 3 hours.
Well, this is a big day. Saturday is the biggest day there. By Saturday, everybody's there, and everybody wants to be there at 3:30 when they draw for that new giveaway car, and so everybody's going to have their vehicle on the ground Saturday. So if they happen to get their number pulled, they'll win. The gate crew up there is usually ran by Tom Volbrick, but I mean, he has I'm not say maybe 100 people, or maybe even more than 100 people that actually work at the gate. That's a big user of people right there. It takes a lot of folks to run that front gate. It's just kind of like registration, and they don't work continuously. They on and off.
Work them in shifts.
Work them in shifts. You work 2 or 3 hour shifts, and really that's a Studebaker right there. They just and that way everybody don't get wore out. There's Valerie's song.
There, and I think the first crew shows up at 6 a.m., don't they?
I don't know what time to get there. I can tell you that right now. I don't get there at 6 o'clock.
I think they do. I think the first volunteers start showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I can believe it. I wouldn't have to if they're going to, when they're opening the gate. They need to have people there.
Yeah.
We're here with the Grimes. Tell me about your vehicle.
Well, the truck is a 29 Model A Ford. It has a 360 Chrysler engine in it that Marilyn and I won doing the driving events back in the 70s and early 80s. The truck has been on the road since 85. It has between 85 and 90,000 miles on it.
That's a lot of driving.
Right, but we love it. We had a trailer tow contest with the street rods in driving, and I had found a way to clip off several seconds. So I would hop over the back end of the T-bucket and in. Unfortunately, my feet went through the steering wheel, and so the steering wheel went.
And she heard about it all the next summer. We would drive through, like at York or wherever, and you would hear whispers about, that's the lady that broke the steering wheel.
Oh my. We enjoy street riding. It is truly a fun family affair.
We're here at the Talk Tent with Joe Petco. Joe, tell me what you're driving here.
34 Plymouth, 383, dual quads, 4-speed. I've been driving about 31 years now, and in fact, this is my 30th year at the Nationals with the same car, with the same registration number, and just been having a lot of fun with it. The only other thing I'm proud of, it's passed safety inspection. It's gotten the 23 pin for the, I think this is the 21st year in a row for that too. I like having somebody inspect the car every year because it, you know, it's real easy to overlook things. You know, it's your car and you see it all the time, and so I really like having somebody else look at it, and I'm proud of the fact that, you know, it's passed safety inspection every year.
Yeah, some of these fellas get up here and start gathering at 6 o'clock in the morning or so and sit there for a couple of hours and just watch them,
that's all you
roll
want.
in.
Hey, it's easier to sit down and watch them roll by than it is to go down and walk around and try to find them.
Yeah.
I don't know how many acres you're talking about on this ground, but you can hurt yourself walking down them grounds.
You wear those feet out.
Man, the New York instant. Nice 48 Chevrolet truck with extended cab, really neat there.
Good looking reds this year.
Oh, they're red's always nice.
The exhibit hall offered more than ever from the exhibitors. If you can't find what you're looking for your street rod at the Nationals, then you don't need it.
There is no doubt about that. Between the exhibit hall and the swap meet, you can find anything you're looking for Even some things that you didn't even know you needed.
The Exhibitor Expo included over 450,000 square feet of space, with vendors from across the U.S. and Canada.
Once again, the exhibit hall here is just packed. Anything you might ever think you need for your car, you find somebody who has it here.
Yes, you can. This year, we didn't have I don't believe we had a record number of vendors, but we used a record number of space. Many of the vendors expanded their booths to just make them bigger. And you could very easily, in fact, I did talk to one guy that brought a fellow that had never been there, and he spent an entire day, one entire day in the building just looking at stuff. And that's not counting all the new parts that Joe Mail has the
new product area.
New product area, which is really nice. And you got to visit that thing.
Yeah, we'll see that in a minute. We always spend a little bit of time on the new product area. But if you're looking to do something to your street rod, this is the place to go.
This is the place to find the part or look. That's what's neat about walking around the grounds. You can get new ideas and things that you can do.
Two-part urethane, super fast adhesive, Duramix.
Oh, this is some of the seminars, and these are getting to be more well attended because people come to it and they're listening to experts that know what they're doing and tell you how to put it in your street rod, because when you get home, you're standing in the garage by yourself.
This is another cool deal that I think everybody enjoys, are these concept cars.
Everybody does. It's really nice of General Motors and to furnish the supplies for these cars and bring them down. And you really see some neat cars you never even thought about there. There was one guy looked at one of those and said, man, I'd sure like to have the engine out of that thing.
Love this Cadillac.
This is it right here. He wanted that engine. I said, you'd have to have every tail light bulb in it probably to make the darn thing run. Boy, it was a V12, you know that?
Yeah, V12. Yeah. Beautiful.
Probably not a hot seller just with the gas at the price it is. Then again, the person who buys that thing wouldn't worry about the price of gas.
No. Not much. Cool little software that House of Colors come up with that we talk about here in a little bit.
It's going to fire it up.
All kinds of brake parts, independent front end parts that you can put on your car to make it ride a lot better.
We're here with Tom Long of GMP, a first-time exhibitor and vendor. Tom, how's the show going?
Oh, it's fantastic, Mark. This is really the kind of media and the place that we need to be.
Good crowd out here today.
Excellent crowd, and these folks love hot rods, you know, and they love the models that we're producing, and we're just glad to be here today.
Got some good-looking replicas. Show me, you got a hot seller here.
This is our 1/6 scale die-cast replica of the flathead Ford that really brought hot rodding around in the early 50s. It's all die-cast metal. It's got a lot of detail in it, and hot rodders love these on their desks.
Good looking. We're here with Jason Childers, one of the drivers of the Grave Digger. Jason, tell us about the Grave Digger.
It's been around for about 22 years now. Dennis Anderson's the owner of the truck. He been doing it for 22 years, like I said. It's a 1950 Chevy panel van. It's got a 540 Merlin engine in it, cone transmission. The rear ends are out of like a 2.5 ton truck. They're Rockwell 106s. Then we put planetaries on the end. All the axles inside it are custom made. We have made in our shop. It's got a transfer case that's custom made. Pretty much everything on the truck we try to do in-house so that we can, when it does break or when it breaks, we got the parts right there. We know how to fix them. We go back and just make the next part and go on. This is my first Street Rod Nationals. I've never been to Street Rod Nationals like this. It's really impressive, man. I came in here and saw all these cars and, you know, started drooling. Had to wipe my chin a little bit. You know, my boss had told me what a neat show it was and that there'd be like 12,000 cars here. And, you know, when people tell you 12,000 cars, you just can't imagine what it's like until you get here. This is unbelievable. Hopefully I get to come back next year.
And the swap meet had vendor booths from 29 states and Canada.
Yeah, Dave, the swap meet here is the best. If you can't find it at the Nationals, then you don't need it.
The swap meet this year was like it has been in the past. It may have been a little bit bigger, but what's really neat about this, again, there's a lot of folks there and there's a lot of sheet metal and parts that's hard to find there. And you can, here again, you can spend a couple hours in this thing just looking around. Sometimes you get a deal, sometimes you, well, gotta be careful. B.J. Wilkerson, the guy that runs this for us, has been around as long as I have, I guess, and he really does a great job for us at this thing here. Just him and his wife and maybe one other person, they set this whole deal. They must have probably 350 vendors out there selling stuff.
We always enjoy swap meet.
All right, did you get a good deal on that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Okay, you see, the man wanted 20. He lowered his price and he gave me 15 for it. $15.
15. Is that a birthday present? To
yourself?
Well,
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Just today.
It's all about the street rods.
Yeah, Jake, here we are at New Products, and again, like I said, they do a good job with this area.
Joe Mayo does a terrific job with this, and this is the 20th or 25th year he's done this New Products thing. And here again, this year, he had a record number of new products there. So this is one area you've got to visit. I said, this could be a good experience here. You can't decide whether your car wants to be red, blue, or green, or yellow, and you come in here and they can put the paint on it and probably even put the flame job on it. So this could be a great idea and save you a lot of effort trying to with the paint.
Yeah, this was ended up being one of the new products of the year.
That is very nice. There's several cars now that's got those LDS, LD, whatever they are, tail lights, and they're really, you can really see them, but you got to have them at the right height. If they're too low, they don't show up good. And a lot of sheet metal parts are available now that where you buy old cars that are rusted out, got a rusted panel, you can replace just one panel, and boy, this is really good, make a new car.
We're here in the new products area with one of the new products winners, the guys from Sinpin. Tell me what we've got here, John.
We have a product that we came out with called Traditional Air.
It is a straight axle front end with air ride suspension on it, so you have the adjustability to go up and down 5 3/4 inches and tune your ride with airbags.
And you've had some success the last couple of years. You guys are doing
This is our second time. The axles won in 2001, and we incorporated the axle and wishbone suspension with the airbags to make a traditional front end that raises and lowers.
Great. So has it been a good show for you?
Fabulous show.
Josiah, have you had a good time at the show?
Yeah.
Okay, what's been your favorite thing at the show?
The favorite thing was I drive my cars up on the table and my dad did a great job.
We're in the new products area with Ralph Lucina of ECI. Ralph, what have we got here?
This is a inline brake pressure multiplier. What it does is it takes master cylinder discharge pressure and multiplies it between 50 and 60% and sends it on out to the brakes. Main purpose is if you've got a caliper that needs higher pressure than a caliper on the other end of the car, or if you have two small calipers, small caliper, drum brake combination, whatever, you can stick these in the line and jack the line pressure accordingly. If you don't have room for a power brake unit, these work very well. Even if you do have a power brake unit, these things still work a whole lot better pressure-wise than a street rod booster, a 7-inch diameter one would do in your standard street rod application.
All right, we're here with Carter Hickman of House of Color, and we saw this product on the floor. And congratulations on being one of the new product
Thank you very
winners.
much.
And,
Very exciting.
Tell me what we've got here.
Well, this is the House of Color digital paint booth. What we can do is we can load in cars. We can change colors, flip around, look at flames, two-tones, graphics. It's kind of a pre-visualization before you get your vehicle painted. You can check it out, make sure that's exactly what you're looking for. Before you spend the thousands of dollars to get the body work and the paint and everything done, you can end up looking at it, print it out, print 4 or 5 versions, make up your mind on which one you would like, you know. So it's kind of a very cool tool to sit at home and play with. It's very addictive.
Well, I would think also not only just at home, but to take to your paint guy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It helps ease the. It's a very high frustration moment when you're getting a vehicle painted. You drop it off at the painter. You're hoping that what he's thinking is what you're thinking. So with this, you're able to print out basically a rendering of a real-looking vehicle that has the color combinations, the graphic style that you're looking for. It prints out with basically a recipe of the House of Color part numbers to do that paint job with. You can give it to your painter and say, here you go, here's what I'm looking for. So hopefully there'll be no surprises when you show back up.
Great. How's the show been for you guys?
It has been absolutely phenomenal. You know, people just jammed in the booth. You can't even hardly look up. You're trying to field about 50 questions at once. It's been, the response has been incredible. The people in the booth have been incredible. We gave everything away. So, we're more than pleased with the response. So, absolutely.
We found an interesting automobile here, the Beechwood Special, with a theme that everybody loves, Snoopy. Tell me about your car here, John.
This is a 1928 Model A Speedster. I built and designed this car myself from scratch, and the idea came up when I went to a hill climb and saw the old Model Ts and Model As running, and I decided, you know, nobody has a 1928 Model A Speedster street rod. So I decided, okay, we're going to have lots of horsepower and a lightweight body, and that's what we've got right here.
Well, it looks great.
Thanks.
And we love the theme.
Oh, great. Snoopy is a good example of good American, you know, wholesome things, you know, and so I put Snoopy on the side of it here, and it's kind of, even though I call it Beechwood Special, it's kind of nicknamed Sopwith Camel. That's what Snoopy would have flown to defeat the Red Baron, you know. So, I put him on the side, and I've got the Maltese crosses there showing that where he shot the Red Baron down, and then I got Snoopy flying behind me on my trailer.
That's right. You can't beat Snoopy in his Sopwith Camel. Roy, tell me about your truck here.
12 years ago, I was traveling across country on a motorcycle, and I was in Pueblo, Colorado. I'd been looking for a 35, 36 Ford pickup for a number of years. And I seen an ad in Street Scene out there. I looked the guy up, called him, went over and looked at the truck, wound up putting a deposit on it, came back home, got a rollback, went back to Colorado and got it, brought it home. Worked on it a couple of years, wound up going through a divorce, had to sell it. And about 2 months ago, I let a rear end go with it, and I looked the guy up, and he had the rear end for sale, and I asked him about the truck, and it went through 2 or 3 hands during that time, and I located the truck and wound up buying it back a couple months ago, and I've been debugging it and working, burning midnight oil, try to get it ready to get here, but dependable. So.
Well, it looks good.
Thanks, sir. It's got a 307 Chevrolet small block in it, 350 turbo, got a S10 chassis and suspension under it and rear end. That's basically it. Good daily driver, and of course I like Harleys, and I got my Harley stickers on there and the 100th anniversary, and got my plaques on the back tailgate and all that stuff. And still working on it.
Good.
Street rod never finished.
No, never finished. Always working on it.
Always working on them, changing, doing something.
Well, you've been to 35 of these. How many cars have you brought to the Nationals?
I've had a T-Bucket, and I've had a 32 5-window that I built from ground up, worked on it about 10 years. Set it up for Bonneville salt flats, top-end car. I've had 4, 5, 35, 36 pickups. I hadn't had a car in over 30 years. Everything I've had either been trucks or Harleys, or both.
That's a good combo.
That's a good combo. Man don't have a pickup truck and a Harley, he's not worth his salt.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Some of the best looking rods can be found out near Old Cardinal Stadium, where on Thursday you'll find the UPS Commercial Way, followed by the Pros Pick on Friday, and Mopar Country and Under 29 on Saturday.
These events just keep growing, with more cars entered every year. The Under 29 area really expanded this year by allowing some of the older, young street rodders to participate.
If you've never entered your street rod in any of these areas, you should probably think about it for next year.
We're here with Angie Carter at the UPS Commercial Way. Angie, tell us about the Commercial Way. It's grown a lot.
Oh yes, it's growing 25% each year. It increases. We have about 60 cars. This is our 4th year doing this, and keeps building and building.
And some beautiful vehicles.
Oh yeah, I love to look at all the nice colors, beautiful bright colors out here, and the different vehicles, different delivery trucks and so forth that they have.
It's a good exposure for UPS.
Oh yeah, great exposure out here for UPS with the shipping counter and the retail sales booths we have, the weigh station, and then doing the UPS Commercial Way.
I did notice that you had chopped one of the vehicles this year.
Oh yes, that's been a couple years ago. They chopped and dropped a truck, and you know, of course, everybody wants Dale Jarrett to drive it, and there's a one that's not chopped and dropped, and then they've added this one. So there's 2 out there.
We want you to drive it, Angie.
Oh, I would love to drive that truck. I would, in a heartbeat.
And you put it to the floor.
Oh yes.
It's always a lot of good-looking street rods at the Pros Pick.
Very, very nice bunch of cars out there, and Rod and Custom and their judges do a terrific job on them. When you go down to the award and you see the 12 cars that they've selected, they've got some fine, fine cars. Yeah, I mean, just to be a reject in that organization over there is pretty good. Very nice cars. Probably had about 300 cars in that area, and you just go and look at the cars, nothing else. I mean, you can see them all. the guys do a great job for us.
Yeah, I think they had a bigger crowd out in that area for the different contests than they've had before. For Pros Pick, Mopar. I know Commercial Way had more than they've ever had.
Mopar had a record number of cars as well. I didn't get the Commercial Way, but actually I think they did have a record number of cars, and I'm not sure about them. I know we had more in the 29 below this year because we upped the age a little bit, and I'm sure that's really worked out well. So now we can catch some of the older guys.
Some good-looking paint jobs.
Oh, they're all neat paint jobs over there. Fox didn't like his tail, losing his tail though. Just the ideas. I mean, just some of the idea and the paint schemes. It's just got to take hours and hours and hours to do some of the fabulous looking paint jobs. But they're not just looking at the paint job; they're looking at the whole car. You know, I'm talking about all the mechanical and the upholstery and everything else.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good set of criteria that they're looking at out here at Pros Pick.
Exactly.
Pull back around. Now. Is this green onions?
Right.
Oh, we're doing some green onions here. Okay. We are here with Becky and Kendall, the Francis from Ohio.
Belpre, Ohio.
All right, what are we driving here? This is nice.
We're driving a 1939 Ford Coast to Coast.
She was telling us very excitedly some of the details on the interior, I might add, with lots of enthusiasm.
Yeah. I just love the dash because it was the 59 Chevy dash, and it was the console is special made by Sean Appleman. I'm not really a worker on it. I'm more of the chair sitter tea getter.
Chair sitter tea getter?
Yeah.
And cheerleader.
And cheerleader.
Tell us a little bit about your trip so far.
Oh, it's been fabulous. And you couldn't expect any pretty weather if we hadn't have just ordered it from upstairs, right? Yeah, so it's just wonderful. It's just great here. And the show is fantastic. And you can tell I love that, right?
Mopar Country. This has been around with us. This is the longest deal we've ever had with anybody, and this year was no exception. They had a record number of Mopars, bodied with Mopar-powered cars in the event, and the 5 cars they selected were excellent, and you could see them at the awards on Sunday. Jim Green and Jim Rose run this for me, and both. I tell you what, these guys are so Mopar. If you happen to cut one of them, you wouldn't get blood. You'd get little Mopars jumping out.
They bleed Mopar.
They would bleed Mopar.
This is our first year. We got together with NSRA and decided that we'd expand the age range of the program, try to get the participation up, and I think it's been really successful. Even at the regional events, we've had more than twice the normal amount of participants. And here, we had nearly 100. For the last few years, we've been averaging right around 35 to 40. I was wondering at first whether you could mix somebody, 29 to 21, that's a pretty big, or 17 and up, that's kind of a pretty big age difference, but everybody seemed to get along real well, and saw a lot of people meeting and talking about last year and looking forward to next year. So I think the change has really been a positive influence on it. And we really want to see this program grow. This is something that wasn't around when I was coming to these events at a younger age. I think it's really great to bring these kids together, bring the younger people together. It's hard to call them kids when they're 29, but give them a place where they can come together and meet other people their age and stuff. I think it's really a good way to increase the program.
With Curtis Underwood. Curtis, tell me about your car here.
Well, it's a 31 Model A coupe, 5-window coupe. It's all steel and has original fenders on it. They got a lot of Bondo in them, but it's all original. And I've got it finished all but the upholstery inside. I don't have that yet. And I've been fooling with it for about 10 years since I retired. I'm real proud of it and enjoy it a lot. It's PPG concept paint with clear on top of it. And it's straight, I usually don't give this out, it's straight scarlet.
Well, it's good looking.
That's the reddest red they have. And if I was going to do it again, I'd get them to put a tad of yellow in it to make it kick out more in the sunlight.
Right.
But I love this paint.
Well, it's good looking. And you
Thanks.
say your granddaughter got you your fuzzy dice?
Oh yeah, she bought me my fuzzy dice.
You want to put her touch on it?
Oh yeah, yeah, she's 11 and she loves her grandpa.
I bet. We're here with Kurt. Kurt, tell me about your vehicle.
It's a 1932 hand-built Pro Street custom roadster pickup. It started as an original 32 Chevy pickup truck 7 years ago, and 99% of the stuff on it's all hand-built. The hood's the only part of it that's unmolested. Everything else has been stretched, modified, chopped, channeled, shaved, Frenched, just radical. We drew it all up on paper first, what we wanted, and we found a donor old truck, and I've got probably about 100,000 hours into it right now, me and Larry Chrisman Engineering. It's been a long, I appraise and insure rods and customs and stuff for a living, so I wanted something that was completely different. I see 100,000 3-window coupes, but so I wanted something really different, and I wanted something that looked like it'd do a 200 mile an hour quarter mile and still have the comfort of leg room so I could drive it a few hours down to Louisville and enjoy it on the highway too. So, but it's been a labor of love.
Right, right.
Well, I drew everything by hand. Most people have, if they're going to hand build a vehicle, they'll pay someone to draw blueprints of it before they start, or they make a lot of costly mistakes. I hand drew all the blueprints of it myself with a little bit of an artist background, not much, but so yeah, I drew all the things on paper first and then tore it all apart, just started.
The Street Rod Nationals is an event you have to see to believe.
And it's an event that couldn't be done without all the hard-working members who volunteer every year to make it happen. Over 500 of them every year help make the Nationals the great event it is.
Wow, y'all driving the Street Rod. These guys really put out some effort. And for the whole event, it takes almost 500 volunteers. And so somebody's got to keep all these people organized and being at the right place at the right time and direct them how to do the job, because they only do it once a year. And sometimes it can be a hassle, but most times everybody's having fun, and many like registration. And most of these people have done it for several years, and they really like to enjoy it and really like to come back and do it again.
And they do a great job.
And they do a terrific job.
I tell you, those volunteers are smiling, they're doing a good job, and they
really help make the event what it is.
Yeah, and just like these games here, it takes a volunteer club for every game. And you got 1, 2, 3, or 4 people doing it, and everybody's over having a great time.
Safety, all volunteers?
All volunteers, yeah.
Our safety program's a good deal. It's a free service to any NSRA member or a non-NSRA member. We inspect our pre-48 cars. It's a good service because we've found a couple cars this morning that little things on it that people didn't know that was even wrong with the car. We found a rack and pinion steering that was a little loose this morning, so he went and got that fixed. You know, if he wouldn't have come by here, he never would have knew there was anything wrong with it. They'll weigh all 4 corners. They'll give you a reading on the left front, the right front, the rear, and the whole total weight of the car. And they can take it back to somebody that sells shock absorbers, and they can get them set up with buying the right type of shocks for the cars. You know, because the straight rods, everything's been changed on it.
Now, Jake, these guys out here at the MHRA Rod Shop, they always do a great job, and they really will help anybody, because this year they had to give us a little bit of help. We had to have a cart without the top on it to shoot video from. So, you know, they had the right tools.
Oh, they're good at dismantling things. So don't know. There's a great bunch of guys here, and every year they've been around since 1972 was their first event, and these guys work their pippies off. I'm telling you, they do work hard, and they really help a lot of people out.
Well, they helped us out.
That's good. That's good. There.
Fix anything.
Why are you holding it? Wait. Why are you holding it with a pair of pliers?
Because I knew where those were.
Jake, I'm not afraid to poke in front of myself.
Yeah. It's got a socket and ratchet.
Yeah, but I don't know if we
Is it working?
Yeah. I'm not a mechanic. See, I'm a video guy.
I think I might have provided this fellow with some amusement for the day. I'm leaving
You want to start too?
That's okay too.
Just don't know what we're talking.
Well, we're not sure about the video crew building a street rod or not. They might have to have it built.
No, but I tell you what.
Here, enjoy yourself.
We can do our best to take the top off a golf cart.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you did a good job here.
We just need a little bit of help. And these guys helped us out.
Get a close up on him, don't give me. No. Got it?
Look at us now. Look at this.
It's beautiful.
Here's all the field reps.
This is the field force. Frank Salerno and I have a party each year for the field reps, and that's the safety inspectors, and the representatives and advisors and the team members and their children and whatever. And it's just a fun get together for a few hours to sit down and talk about what's going on and not have any pressure on you.
Great group.
Yeah, great bunch. These people do the whole job. You don't see as many tea buckets as you used to. Well, of course, they're hard to air condition, and then of course we're all getting a little bit older and want a few more luxuries. And, you know, it's difficult to put power windows in tea buckets.
Yep.
But they are a lot of fun.
They look like a lot of fun. Actually, we rode one in one year, and had a fella tell us one year, well, the only thing about the show was we had too many buckets. There's our pork chop man.
Did he fry pork chop for you?
We caught him over at the food booth, at the pork chop booth, and he tells us he has 2 or 3 of those every day. It's the other white meat, you know.
Oh, I know it is. Yeah, that's what they say. I like it.
That is one of our favorites of the show, is that pork chop sandwich.
Oh yeah, and talking about the sandwiches, when you went inside the building, man, they had a lot of food back there. I mean, there was food all over the fairgrounds. You could eat it just about anywhere. You didn't have to stand in line to get food at any place.
Everywhere. Love the Ratitude here.
Yeah, that drawing's been around a long time.
That's a little something different.
Yes, I'd say it is right there. That is a little different there. He didn't have those glued on there, did he?
Yes, he did.
It's nice little red 46 or 70.
Beautiful.
Now this was a kind of a neat deal here. Originally we started out with something for couples, you know, and this was, we called it a paper roll. And needless to say, that guy's gonna go around about another half a dozen times and he's definitely gonna fall down on the ground. Because
a couple of fellas almost did.
You can definitely get dizzy running around and around.
No doubt.
This is a great deal. The ladies love this bus shopping, and we got the signs up there, and when you can ride on the bus, and they get to go somewhere else and
take you to the mall.
Take you to the mall and see other things in the city rather than.
Through the storm, through the night, lead me on.
God sacrificed his son to save us. And we need people to understand, always, no matter your circumstance, God loves you.
Hey, this was a good party right here, Mark. 35 years. We still got 24 people in it, made all of the nets. And I think 7 or 8 wives that were with the folks there.
What a crew.
Yeah, that's a nice crew. You get to see them every year, and we're all getting a little bit older. That's a big deal, I guess. But everybody's still having a good time.
Still kicking.
Still kicking, man. I'm really hoping to be there for the 50th.
How long ago?
15 years. Sally Benoit, she's our representative in Connecticut.
We're here with Roy Sandage. Roy's a 35-year participant, one of the 35-year participant pin wearers. Way to go!
Yes, sir.
Talk to me a little bit about how you've seen this sport grow and your participation.
Well, back in the 70s, we hadn't seen 5 street rods at one time in one place, and we always read Rod and Custom magazine. And the LA Roasters, San Diego Prowlers met, and I said, they had 10, 15 straight rods, and I said, I'm going to California, I want to see 10 or 15 straight rods in one place at one time. And they got the idea from that, if it's like this in California, what would it be like if we picked the United States Central Park? So they picked Peoria, Illinois, set a date. There was 6 of us piled in a 57 Chevy Nomad wagon, drove all night to get there, worked all day, drove all night, and was up 3 and 4 days looking 650 street rods in a field at one time. And went 4 days without sleep, went back to work Monday morning.
That's
been at it ever since.
Been at it ever since. Hadn't missed a one.
Hadn't missed a one. Been to all of them. Drove 4, 5, 6 times, and then in between street rod time or two and divorces and rode motorcycle, hitchhiked one year to St. Paul, Minnesota. Had one vehicle and wife had to have it, so it made me a sign that said St. Paul, NSRA, stuck my thumb out, and first street rod came by, I had a ride to St. Paul.
You had a ride?
All the way.
That was no problem. And that was all the way from Cleveland?
Cleveland, Tennessee to St. Paul, Minnesota, and then I rode back with Advance Chrome out of Nashville and got back home. If they don't have me in a hospital bed strapped down, I'll be here.
We're here with Greg Porter and his 34 Plymouth that he just finished. Greg, tell us about your car.
Well, I just rolled it out. I been working on it about 2 years, and it's got a 392 Hemi in it, out of 58 New Yorker. It's got it's all steel car. It's got 34 rails. I tubed 3 to back, 4-linked it. 6 deuces. Got the 94s on it. Intake back 58, 59. Keep it all like the 60s in the 60 area. So pretty good. Candy metal flake. I've done all the work, 9% of the work myself. We got a fab shop back home and run a body shop. So pretty much in-house everything. Got my son, he's a good fabricator. He helps me with the car, and then I have some other dudes around the home there to help pull on it. So mostly in-house. It took us about 8 hours, 9 hours to get here, which I towed the car. I just, being new, but it's a driver though. I'm gonna drive it after I kind of show it off a little bit.
Good.
So I'm gonna roll with it.
Now, did you was your hair like that before or after you started driving this thing?
Say it again now.
I said your hair was
Oh, it stays that way. I take care of my hair now.
I thought maybe that was the Hemi 34 look.
Nah, I can get on the Harley and it'll stay this way. Yeah, that's right. But I like my car though, and I'm good to be here. First show I've been to, joined up, plan to come to a few of them, so this is the greatest show ever.
There's always a lot for the whole family to do at the Nationals. There's the great lineup of Friday and Saturday night entertainment at Freedom Hall.
There's the Women's World Shopping Area.
The Ford Plant Tour.
Fun and games for the kids and the adults.
And a whole lot more.
Dave, did we mention all the food?
Mm-hmm.
I eat about 3 of these a day.
There you go. Cholesterol free, they tell me. There's the pork down there. Yeah, the pork. That guy didn't burn it, didn't he?
You and me both.
Oh.
There is some good food out on the ground.
Yes, a lot of it, and there was you didn't have to stand in line in any deal. You could also go not only outside but inside, and there were vendors everywhere.
Put some cheese on there.
A little sauerkraut, relish, now a little ketchup, and to brighten it up just a bit, a little mustard. And there is our famous heartburn.
Now, Jake, I enjoyed that.
I know you did. I know you did. Have you got over the heartburn yet, though?
I did pretty quick.
Just everywhere you turn and look, there's just, I like the purple Cadillac. You can just see cars, cars, cars. And then sometimes then you'll finally get tired of saying, I'm just looking at red Fords, or I'm just looking at green cars, or I'm looking at something else. There are so many of them, and there's so much to do, and when you leave, you know you hadn't seen it all.
No. Jake, you could wear your feet out for 4 days, and you wouldn't see it all.
Until you won't see it all. You won't get to talk to all the people that you want to, and then when you get home, you look at somebody else's pictures and say, I didn't see that car. So that's why you got to have a video.
Not only that, sometimes you say, not only did I not see that car, but I didn't even see that whole area.
It's good looking red on it. There's Chevrolet right there too.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Deep, deep red. It's noticed in the last several years, though, there's been more Mopars. It seems like it's coming back. I think, I'm not sure why, but they're really a neat car. I mean, they were actually probably built better than the Ford, and they didn't run as fast. But the body and the he brought the kitchen sink.
He did bring the kitchen sink. We got a good look at that kitchen sink too.
Welcome to Louisville and the National Street Rod Association. I love street rods.
And this, again, Women's World had a damn near record number of people. And I was in there one day looking around, and somebody asked me, what are you doing in here, Moran? I said, Women's World for the women.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite areas.
Very nice, very nice.
It's always good to get something to take home.
Yes, my wife was shopping in there for some time. I'm not sure how much it cost me. But as you can see, it was crowded most of the time you walked through there. And,
really busy in there Friday and Saturday.
Exactly, exactly.
It's another neat deal. The tour of the Ford plant.
I have not found time to do that yet, but I know it's a neat deal.
I think a lot of, there's a big crowd every year. They really seem to enjoy going through it. Now they won't let us take a camera inside, so. No, I'm sure they won't.
This is the 10th year in Louisville, and it's nice to have it in town. And I'm not bragging on Louisville, but I say this is the best site ever for the Nationals, and I just really enjoyed being here.
We're here with Fred Acton. Fred, tell me about your pickup.
It's a 1932 Ford pickup truck. It's what is referred to as a Pro Street. It's got wide tires on the rear. I've been working on the project for 10 years. This is the first year that I have brought it to the Nationals. Certainly not my first year at the Nationals, but it's my first year to bring the 32 to the Nationals. It has a 350 Chevrolet motor with a it's bored out 30 thousandths with a 400 small block crank in it, giving it 383 cubic inches with a 671 blower with two 4-barrels on it. And got Corella rods with a Moldex crank, so it's got all the good pieces in it, and it's putting out 600 horsepower. Well, I'm very pleased with that. It's loud. I got that 60s mentality, and it's still loud and shakes and does all the things I wanted to do. I couldn't be more thrilled. Somebody asked me how fast would it run. I said I have no idea. I don't have that much intestinal fortitude. I just 400 or 500 yards all I can stand. That's all the excitement I can stand.
We're here with Nell and Susie, and it's Nell's first Nationals. Nell, what do you think?
I love it. It's bringing back my young days.
Yeah, some pretty good-looking cars out here.
There sure is, and I really enjoy every one of them.
Are you?
And I wish, when I look at a lot of them, I wish I had one.
What?
She would like a convertible.
A convertible?
Yes.
That's all you need.
I know it.
A convertible and a scarf, and you'd be ready to go.
I know it. And
Now,
I love it.
Stick shift or automatic?
Oh, it don't make any difference. I learned on a stick.
And what are you driving?
30 Chevrolet Cabriolet.
All right, and what's your impression of the show?
Oh, I have a blast because my husband works inside and I'm usually out there by myself, and I park my car and I enjoy everyone and meet so many people from all over the states.
I just was amazed at these cars. She told me a long time ago there were a lot of them. I didn't dream it was this many.
As a Street Rod Nationals participant, you have lots of chances to take home a prize of some sort. Over $1 million worth of prizes are given away annually with the Super Prize program.
And of course, Saturday afternoon is the most anticipated event of the weekend because somebody is going to win big.
Great deal. Oh, hey, you know, some people don't seem to drop by and look at the numbers, but at all NSRA events, we give away this year over $104,000 worth of goodies at each event. And all we do is draw your number. And if you don't happen to hear it, all you get to come by and look at the board.
All you gotta do is check the board.
Check the board.
That's all you gotta do.
But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Everybody ready? Yeah. Good luck. Okay, we know who it is, so you let us know who it is. Entry number 10043. 10,043. Second call. Yes!
You have your car on the fairground? Yes, sir. And your name?
Yes, sir.
Your name?
My name is Rick Guns.
And you're from where?
I'm from Brewster, I'm Zoro, Ohio.
Zoro, yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay, we need to have you go out with one of these guys.
Hey, Rick, way to go.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Can you get any questions? Look out. I got the
Go for it, buddy.
You can see us some registration, right? Your car.
Can't believe it. We're standing there. I go.
All I had to do was run.
All the way.
I don't know how to work this. Hey, does anybody know how to work this?
Yes, Brewster, Up there, congratulations.
Yes! 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 Thank you so much. Diane, this is Rick. Diane, you're not going to believe this. I just won the giveaway car. I'm not kidding, and it is gorgeous. Just gorgeous, Diane. I can't believe it. No, I'm not. I can't. She said I can't bring it home. I don't have a garage for it.
I'll put it in the garage.
Hi, Diane. This is Bob Reed. I'm the National Awards Coordinator for the National Street Rod Association, and he's not lying to you. He has won the car, and I've got to drag him away from all this so he can go get it. Okay?
Yeah, he said I'm on.
Well, I don't know what he's going to do about a garage. We're just giving him a car. We're here with Gary and Rick. Gary put together the 2004 giveaway car, and Rick just won. Rick, what do you think?
This car is absolutely gorgeous. I think this is the most beautiful giveaway car that they've ever given away here. I just can't believe that I'm so lucky to win it, and I'm just awestruck, just totally awestruck. It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful car.
These guys did a great job.
Oh, well, thank you. That's understatement, total understatement. It's just gorgeous.
Now, you were a little understated until you got out to your car.
That's because I wanted to make sure my paperwork was in order in my glove box. After I pulled my registration out, and he said, "Yes, sir, it's yours," I went absolutely bonkers over there. So
we saw a big whoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, your wife's a little dubious on the phone.
Yeah, she's more worried about where we're going to put it than anything else. I don't think she realized what it is I've won. When she sees this beautiful car, she's just going to be totally unbelievable. She's not going to even realize what it is we've got here. It's beautiful.
Rick, thank you. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome. Gary,
buddy.
Thank you. Looks great.
Okay, following the giveaway, we did unveil the 2005 giveaway car, which is a 1937 Ford pickup by Downs Manufacturing. And this is the first time we've ever unveiled a car at the giveaway. Really, really a nice ride. Somebody's going to get a good one next year.
Good reaction from We're here to take a look at the 2005 giveaway car with Brad Picardi of Downs Manufacturing. Brad, tell me about the vehicle.
It's a 1937 pickup with a Harvest Flame Hot Hues DuPont color. It's got the blueprint motor in it. Chris Customs interior, Pros Pick bed. It's a real nice car. It's got the stainless steel grille in it. It's got the ghost flames with the pearl ghost flames.
Beautiful color.
Yeah, it is. It really stands out nice. Low Car and all those guys, everybody, they all helped out. We got lots of great sponsors. Really worked nice for us.
Has it been a good show for you guys?
It's been an excellent show. Excellent show. It's the best one of the year for us.
Okay, good. Tell us about this car.
Okay, it's a 1923 Dodge Coupe, actually a Dodge Brothers. It's got a Chevy 327 with a small street blower on it, Firebird rear end on it, Corvair front suspensioning, disc brakes, air, power rack.
And how long has it been on the road?
Today, actually yesterday. We left yesterday at 1 o'clock. We were still working on it Tuesday at 11. We left at 1:30. We had 22 miles after the alignment and made it down to Louisville from Chicagoland area.
last year. You can't look every time they run that. About 30? I just thought Jim had no way. Oh, it was. They were that time. Yeah.
There's that Rolls Royce in there. He was probably the only one there. That's a nice looking paint job on a 37 too. 41 on the bed. Look, I mean, just all of them. You just, you know, wouldn't you hate to go out there and say, okay, guy, pick the best car here?
That'd be impossible.
Exactly. That's why we don't do it anymore.
That would be impossible.
Here's a case. It won't be long. He'll probably have a good paint job next year.
Yep. Well, I thought the outdoor exhibitor area worked out again real well this year. Had plenty of room out there and nice setup.
I think Bob had more outdoor vendors this year than he's had in the past. A lot of those guys like the outdoors because they can stay open longer and actually open early and stay out there longer if they want to. It'll be a little bit different next year probably, but it works out great and everybody loves it outside of it, and especially with the weather we had. And by the way, right up in that same general area, you hadn't shown it, but we do have a great space for handicap parking, and we keep expanding this thing every year.
We've mentioned a few of these previously in the show, but just in case you missed it, over 500 NSRA volunteers work over 2,500 hours to make the Nationals all come together like the great event it is, including crews putting up over 150 directional signs so people would know where to go. There were over 450,000 square feet of exhibitor floor space with vendors from all over the U.S. and Canada. Total attendance at the Nationals once again topped the 100,000 mark. The swap meet had spaces filled with vendors from 29 states and Canada. There was also media coverage from all across the U.S., Canada, and even Australia.
I won't be giving any interviews today. Nothing like that. Actually, and it's not just for the motorheads, although there's plenty of that. Take a look at this right here. I had Dan, Dan was all out. It's not unusual to have this parking lot here in front of the West Hall Field absolutely convention, but showing me what that's are.
On to the next deal, man. Radio. All right, we're doing them all. We appreciate it. Come see us.
Okay, now we hadn't talked about this area over here, but boy, this was a great place to park because it's a lot cooler. You know, the grass just don't get as hot as that asphalt out there, and you could walk around. It's a lot softer to walk on too. And there was really, it's like everywhere else, a bunch of nice cars, car clubs, and a lot of tents, and a lot of people stuff here.
Beautiful.
And right next to the swap meet too.
Right next to the swap meet. Right next to the exhibit hall.
Exactly. You didn't have to go far to do nothing. And you could get out on the far side too. We've got it set up now with 3 exits, so it's a lot easier to get out, but only one entrance.
One entrance and 3 ways to get out. You're right.
And this looks like pretty good. You'll see it, but it never filled up over, so you always have parking place. You can look around here. You can always find an empty spot there. We never ran out of room. We have plenty of room. Of course, you still see a lot of suede cars there with that suede paint on them. They're a lot easier to clean. You don't have to polish it.
Yeah. I noticed they restriped the lots different direction.
Yes, they did, but I don't understand why. I didn't know why. They're now going north and south. And you used to go east and west.
Used to go east-west. Now it's north-south, and it gave us some different perspectives on some of the shots. Yeah, that'll show you the weather right there. Beautiful weather.
Beautiful weather.
Love that big flag.
Oh yeah, beautiful flag. Partly cloudy the whole time, and Never got real hot. It couldn't have been any better. I don't know that you're going to get any better than this. All we need to do is, you know, sometimes some people say, well, God must have a roaster and no talk. But really, really nice cars there. And like I say, this is a good area to park in over here. And the grass was better this year than it's been in the past, so you really wasn't dusty.
Not only that, it didn't rain, so it wasn't muddy.
It wasn't muddy.
It wasn't muddy, wasn't dusty. Nice grass to park on.
I love you guys. They got the tents and the barbecue grills, everything else set up out there, and they're there for the duration.
They're good to go.
The guy was trying to camouflage that green truck so it looked like the grass.
Oh, you did good already. We've been shopping. We've been shopping. We got stuff.
Skip really did.
Yeah.
We are rolling here with the guys from Wisconsin, the safety team guys. How's your trip been so far?
Wonderful, just great.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah, nice and
beautiful.
cool.
It's been great. Nice scenery and everything ran good coming down. We had a lot of fun.
Tell me about your vehicles.
I got a 38 Ford sedan.
I drive a 48 Ford, 41 Studebaker.
Talk to me a little bit about the safety aspect.
Safety aspect, we just want to make sure that the guys driving these old cars are going to continue to come back here every year in one piece.
What would you tell somebody who'd never been?
This is my first time to the Nationals, and it's just unbelievable. You hear about the streets of rods? Awesome. Got to see it. I'll be back.
I mean, this is street rod nirvana. I mean, it don't get any better than this.
3, 2, 1.
Cheese curds.
Okay, Sam, tell us about how you ended up with a street rod.
Well, the wife told me if I'd quit smoking, that she wouldn't grape if I had an old car. 2 days later, I laid the cigarettes down. Best move I ever made. Bought the car for $100 in Roanoke. The city of Roanoke told the man that he had to get that junk out of his yard. I gave him $100 and drug it home, and then the wife says, "You're not gonna put that in the yard, are you?" Well, yes, it ended up in the yard for a while. And 2.5 years later, I did ride it out of my basement garage under its own power. And it's been on the road now for 18 years as a street rod. It's got 16 years of safety stickers on the windows. It's passed NSRA 23 every year. We've had a ball with it. We've crossed the Canadian border in it 3 times with the kids bouncing up in the back seat. It's just a backyard car that's done us well, and we love it. Just a 41 Chevrolet, 5-window business coupe. Good friend of mine in Roanoke, Virginia, Mike Moore, was head engineer and fabricator on it. Was up for a safety award at the Columbus Nats, but we used Sunday to go home. We couldn't stay for it. Mike's engineering of putting the subframe under the car. They was impressed with it. Of course, nowadays that's old technology, but
back
then that was the way to go.
We're heading down the home stretch with the Circle of Winners. And Mark, this is really a great way to end the week.
It sure is. You get to see the winners up close, and you have a chance to win some great Super Prize Program prizes at the final drawing at the end of the award ceremony.
recipient or award presenter, otherwise please turn. The award presenter to my right, if you would please.
And when he got outside yesterday, he had made the remark to one of our officials that he was 99.999% that he had everything he needed to claim that car. But he wasn't going to believe it until he opened the glove box and found his registration, and then I guess he got out of war hoop. Some of you may have heard out there, but anyway, congratulations.
Well, Jake, we're nearing the end of the show here. I want to thank you again for coming and providing some commentary for us and talking to us about the show.
Man, it's always great to do this, and it's always great to look at the show again because there's a lot of things you just don't see and forget, and I'm always glad to do it.
Well, we're glad to have you because you're right. This is a show that you can't believe until you see it.
Exactly. Yes, you've got to be there. You've got to be there. As somebody once said, if you don't go, you don't know.
No. Thank you, Jake.
1660. Guys and gals out there, as much as they're volunteers, they are paid in just like everyone else. Have a safe trip home, and we hope to see you at all the remaining NSRA events in 2004.
Thanks again for joining us for the trip through the 2004 NSRA Street Rod Nationals. I'm Dave Voloshin along with Mark Thompson. We'll see you again next time.
But before we go, you might want to check this out.
Welcome to the Street Rod Nationals. Welcome to the Street Rod Nationals.
He didn't do what he said. He said good morning, damn it.
Welcome to the Street Rod Nationals.
That was horrible.
Terrible.
That's what happens.
Scratch that.
That's what happens when you stay up all night.
You want to say good morning first?
Exclusive contract with CBS and Hearst Argyle. Sorry.
No
Turn the camera off. None of that. Turn the camera off. No, turn the camera off!
Mess up my shot! Do what I say!
That's my favorite shot. The hand is on it.
No!
This is my first assignment with Michigan Hot Rod Repair Shop, so you got to start out somewhere. The rookies have to start out with the basics, you know. You got to know what the basic nuts and bolts.
Well, you're doing a fine job. The truth spoken by
That makes
Mr.
me
Nut
a
and Bolt.
senior nut and bolt sorter.
Well, what else would you guys want to talk about?
Let's talk about you. You know?
Hey, that's my favorite subject.
Is it?
All right. The other thing that we might want to talk about is why Jamie bailed.
I'm not sure. He's kind of a little camera shy. Adds 10, 20 pounds.
There he is right now, behind the camera, right behind us. There he is.
No, wrong side of camera.
She's pushing the wrong button. I'm not doing a thing.
It's all the people.